we're back with the second, or last video I should say, of the Goku vs. Beerus mini-series. Now, last video ended off with me saying that Goku was stronger than Beerus, with Mastered Ultra Instinct, and also saying that Jiren, Broly, and Gogeta are all stronger than Beerus in terms of the anime as of right now. Now, of course, there were some people who agreed with me in the comments, some who disagreed in the comments. But the only thing I would say about the comments that really only bothered me was the fact that some people were stupid enough to bring up the manga. Which is pretty stupid considering at the very beginning of the video I said that I was only doing the anime versions of Goku and Beerus only. I don't know why you bring out the manga because it's not relevant to the anime, but speaking of the manga, let's talk about the manga versions. In the manga, is Beerus stronger than Goku, or is Goku stronger than Beerus? But let's go ahead and jump straight into it without wasting any more time. So without giving an introduction for all the arcs and all that, I was going to get straight into all the scans because we already know all the arcs from the anime. Only arcs that we really get is just the Morrow, superhero, all those kind of arcs. But that's kind of it, and we don't really need to go over anything else. But the first statement that we're going to be looking over here is Supreme Kai saying that Vegeta Blue is stronger than Beerus. Now, this is pretty important as like I said in the last video, the Supreme Kai both felt and was there to witness the Battle of the Gods clash between Goku and Beerus. So the Supreme Kai actually saying that Vegeta has a higher power than Beerus is actually a pretty impressive feat. Not to mention, it's pretty consistent with later statements that we'll get into in about 10 seconds. Now, before we get into the obvious Tournament of Power, we need to go over the exhibition match. Now, of course, this exhibition match is different in the manga than it is in the anime. God of Destruction Battle Royale. And this Battle Royale actually gives us some pretty good scaling on where all the gods scale to each other. The two most important gods that we'll be keeping note of here, though, are Beerus and Belmont. Now, of course, you have the very famous thing that Beerus fans like to bring up, is Beerus with his incomplete Ultra Instinct being able to take on all the gods at the same time. However, we also see that once Belmont turns his attention away from Beerus and just starts to target all the gods, he's actually capable of trapping all the gods inside of a spear, and then uses his abilities that are cards that I guess explode, and is even capable of damaging Beerus with these. Now, why do I bring this up, you may ask? Well, this at the very least puts Belmont in the same tier as Beerus, and that they should be relative to each other. Nothing actually refutes this, so this should be pretty consistent with all the other statements we have. Then, of course, we get our very famous statement in the manga, where Top tells Goku that Jiren is actually stronger than their god of destruction, who is Belmont. You see why I brought up Belmont there? Since it's kind of shown that Belmont is on the same tier as Beerus, and Jiren is stronger than Belmont, Jiren should at least be at the very least comparable to them, if not outright stronger than them. Now, just like in the anime, Jiren also has the statements of being above the gods of destruction. Remember, it says gods of destruction, not god, not singular, all of them. S as in all of them. Jiren is above all the gods of destruction. I know I have to keep saying it because a lot of people seem to just take it as Jiren's only above Belmont, which is just kind of straight out false. I mean, the same is straight up saying he has power that's above all the gods of destruction. But besides that, then of course we have Goku using his Master Ultra Instinct, beating Jiren. That's kind of it that we really only need to go over for the Tournament of Power stuff in terms of the manga, because we don't get too much statements there like we do in terms of the anime. However, in the Morrow arc, this is where the scaling starts to get a little bit crazy. In the Morrow arc, we are obviously introduced to probably one of the greatest Dragon Ball villains, in my opinion, that being Morrow. Now, Morrow, if you don't know who he is, he's basically this Cell kind of guy, I guess. He has powers kind of like Cell, where he can go around to planets, absorbing the planet's energy to make himself stronger. And he basically uses magic, and he can drain the God Key of opponents and things like that. Pretty short and simple. But I bring up Morrow because after Morrow was given around, I think it was like a 6-month period or a couple months before he was allowed to go fight Goku and Vegeta on Earth, since they weren't there, Morrow actually off screen absorbed a lot of planets' energies. And this actually allowed Morrow to have the power that surpassed the gods of destruction. Morrow should have said himself, saying that he surpassed the gods of destruction's power. And now this should be pretty consistent with the previous statements of Jiren being above Belmont and all the gods of destruction, which should also be consistent considering that Beerus, after giving one final push for Goku to go Ultra Instinct, Beerus actually states, Goku will not lose to anyone, ever. Now, obviously you guys might be saying like, well, he says like he's not going to lose to anyone. Obviously he's just exaggerating the statement. But considering with how all the other statements put him above like gods of destruction and all that, I think it should at the very least be the gods of destruction. Also, when Beerus is making this statement, Beerus is actually in the background a couple panels earlier because he was actually intending to help out Goku against Morrow before Beerus got erased, but then that kind of failed after Beerus sacrificed himself and then Goku turned Master Ultra Instinct. So Beerus' statement should, 1, put him above Morrow, which was very obvious at the very end of the manga. 2, it should put him above Beerus, who's at the very least one of the stronger gods of destruction on par with Belmont, who are likely at least in the top 3 strongest gods of destruction. With Beerus probably being the first since he has Infinite Ultra Instinct, but that's up for debate. Now, of course, after Goku breaks Morrow's hand and starts demolishing him, Goku actually says to Morrow that he's the strongest opponent that he's ever faced. Now, this is pretty impressive because, as you can already guess, this would put Morrow above guys like Jiren, Beerus, Vegito, Gogeta, things like that. So Morrow's actually pretty strong. Now, those are kind of all the statements that we kind of get for Goku being above Beerus, but I'm not going to have off the video here, because I know a lot of you guys are going to start furiously typing away in the comments, creating an entire essay about why Beerus is stated stronger. So let's go over the arguments that a lot of the Beerus fans like to make, and let's see if they actually stack up. One of the more recent statements that we get in the manga is when Beerus states that if Goku became stronger than him, he would give him the God of Destruction type. Now, people used to say because Beerus says when Goku's stronger. However, there's a couple problems to have with this. For one, we know that Beerus is incredibly prideful, and he doesn't like to hear anyone, and I mean anyone, being stronger than him at all, except for like the angels and the angels and Seven. So, I think the statement right there, it shouldn't be taken that high of a standard, considering how Beerus just doesn't like to be told, but someone's either gonna rival him or beat him. I mean, we literally have in early like manga chapters, like the Oracle Fish stating that Goku and Vegeta would indeed become Beerus' rivals, and then his veins start popping, and he gets really mad when Goku's like, oh yeah, once my training's done, I'm gonna be stronger than everyone, and no one's gonna be able to beat me, and then he gets mad, but instead of gonna go beat up Goku, he's like, let me go pick on Vegeta. So it's like, how accurate are Beerus' own statements? I mean, considering how prideful he is, I don't know if we should be taking his statements at their highest value, considering they might not even be consistent. Now, some other statements are actually from Toryotaro and Toriyama. Now, both of them state that they don't have any plans on Goku and Vegeta passing Beerus, Whis, the Angels, Zeno, guys like that. So obviously, your first thought would be, well, if you have the 2 authors of Dragon Ball verbatim stating like Goku and Vegeta will not be surpassing Beerus or Whis for a while, this should mean that they haven't passed him, right? Well, my problem with this is that with all the statements I've previously shown, it's kind of hard to actually take the statement seriously. They're like, yeah, we don't have any plans for Goku and Vegeta passing Beerus, but then you have Jiren being above the Gods of Destruction, and then you have Morrow being above the Gods of Destruction, and then him being above Jiren, and then Beerus stating that Goku's above everybody, with Beerus being there as well. So it's kind of weirdly inconsistent. Now, something I do want to say, Beerus has, of course, gone back to training. He trained against Vegeta, and he's kind of just training off screen, so it's like no one can either fully beat him or whatever you want to say. So I'd say Beerus with this training is likely above Jiren now, considering we don't know Jiren's like now fuller extent of his power, considering he's gone back to training as well. But that's for us to find out in later manga chapters, I guess. But I would have Beerus above Jiren. I don't know if I'd have him before, maybe, but that's up for a different discussion. Now, the other thing I would say that Beerus fans like to bring up is Black Frieza. Now, you might be asking why am I bringing up Black Frieza? Well, Black Frieza has a statement, before I get to the statement, we all know when Black Frieza comes in and one-shots both Goku and Vegeta and both True Ultra Instinct and an Ultra Ego. But then we got a translation for Black Frieza where it stated that he was close to the Gods of Destruction in power. So a lot of people like to use that, like, well, if Black Frieza is only close to a Gods of Destruction power and Goku and Vegeta got one-shot by him, obviously they're not above Beerus. But like I said, it's kind of inconsistent with all the statements I've already shown. And also, then there's the fact it's like, okay, he one-shots Goku and Vegeta. Well, Vegeta is fueled by the power of Ultra Ego. Well, what is Ultra Ego, you may ask? Ultra Ego is the power of a God of Destruction. So it's like, it's really weird to say this. It's like, you one-shot someone who has God of Destruction energy, and yet you're only close to a God of Destruction power? It's pretty weird, especially with all the past statements we have. I mean, Then there's also the fact that in like one of the during the granola arc, Whis also just states that like, well, not Whis, but Goku just states that he should at least be considered like a low tier angel now. So he's just likely above Beerus then as well. I don't really know how you can really say that Beerus isn't stronger than Goku, considering we have so many statements pointing towards it, and all the statements that disagree are just kind of invalid. They're not really all too consistent with each other. Like, there's a lot of things that just outright contradict them. But before I end off the video, let's go over the rankings of where I'd have everybody. I would probably have Belmont and Beerus at least be equal to each other. Then Jiren's above them and all the other gods of destruction. Then we have Beerus when he's training, so he should be above Jiren. Then after that, then we have Morrow, and then we have Goku. And probably Vegeta too. I guess you could say that Beerus with his training is stronger than Morrow, but that's up for debate, but I don't really feel like discussing that right now. So I guess I'll just end off the video here. With that being said, I think in the manga, Goku has also passed Beerus as well. Of course, if you disagree, feel free to discuss with me in the comments below. Don't be a dickbag and just go in there and just start typing a bunch of random slurs just because I don't have an opinion that aligns with yours. But anyways, the next video will come out within the next couple weeks. It's a pretty long one, so there won't be any videos for now. So I hope you guys will be patient. But I'll see you guys next time.